Let's go. We back. Another conversation and another win. Damn, it was cool chatting to Demetri Catrakilis about his football and rugby experiences, as well as sharing some remarkable insights into his life-threatening injury and the proudest moments of his rugby career. But you guys know the deal, so I'm just going to roll the intro. Hello and how are you to all you sports lovers out there? My name is Robbie Gillette and welcome to conversation number 7 of the Keeping It Real with Robbie podcast, where we chat all things from the mental side of sport, to stories, laughs and banter. Whether into the old pigskin or the old leather ball, we've got you. I hope this one hits the spot and let me know what you guys think.
He gets it off to Van der Walt. He's thrown into the turf. Still there for the Kings.
Field goal.
And there's the field goal attempt. And it's over. Demetri Catrakilis has stolen it at the death. And the Southern Kings victorious on the road in Australia. And aren't they happy?
How you doing?
Cool, man. Good and you. How's it going?
No, it's alright. It's a happy level 3 lockdown, I guess. Like, come on, bottle stores are open.
Yeah, no, at least that's happening. But yeah, we're waiting for level 2 and 1 now, and eventually some freedom.
Yeah, no, that I think normality, or at least we've been able to, like my brothers and I, which have been going to the fields to kick, which is always fun. Oh, when are you guys getting back to play?
Rugby, yeah, well, rugby is one of the last things I think that's going to get back to playing. So it looks like at the moment that
That's criminal.
I don't know. We'll probably get back in a few weeks to training together with the guys, and then I think probably early around September start playing games again.
Oh. But
Yeah,
look,
so
it's better than nothing. Imagine not having rugby. I'd go bonkers.
Well, you can imagine it's happening now at the moment. Everyone's going crazy.
I'm living it. I'm living my life there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And then, where is lockdown for you? Are you in PE now, right?
I'm in Cape Town at the moment.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm in Sea Point area, which is it's home now. So it's like when I played here for 5-6 years. I loved Cape Town and I got used to it, and I love the people here. I enjoy the environment, so I decided, you know what, when I'm finished with rugby, this is where I want to settle.
There we go.
Yeah.
So you chose rugby, but I saw that you were a decent footballer. I mean, I always tell everyone I could have gone pro, but I mean, that's complete nonsense. I just said because chatting nonsense.
Just say it. That's
Yeah.
just it.
Some people believe it, so then you just go along with it. But most guys are like, you certainly don't look like you could have gone pro, but what was your injury?
It was that knee injury, yeah.
Mine was a toe. Just anyway.
Oh, it was a toe, okay.
Yeah. But for you, what made you choose rugby? Can you kind of tell us the teams that you played for footy? I saw that you made some African side. I'm not too sure how the whole system.
Yeah. So I must be honest. Growing up, football was my first love.
Yeah.
I think I started playing soccer honestly when I was like 4 years old at age group level.
Yeah.
So I was 4 and I was playing for the under sixes, and then I just played when I was 5 for the under sixes, and then I went through, and I stopped playing soccer when I was 17, which was standard 9 of school.
Yeah.
But up until then, I lived in Bedfordview area in Johannesburg. So as a junior, I played for Bedfordview. Then I moved to Edenvale Club, which was a very good club at the time.
Okay.
And then I played for Edenvale. But in between seasons, they would always pick like an Eastern Gauteng team. And then you would play in the Gauteng tournament. So they had Easterns, Northerns, Westerns, Southerns. And you play every single year. And I got to play with some amazing players from under like 12 to under 17. Some really, really good, like George Maloleko plays for the Kaizer Chiefs now.
Yeah. I'm
good friends with him. Opa Manyisa used to play against him. So like a lot of really, really good players that were my age. And when I was 16, I got asked to move to Maroco Swallows.
Okay.
But just before that, I got selected for a South African invitation team.
Okay.
That went and played in Brazil in the Brazilian Cup.
That's
which was amazing. We got to play against like Boca Juniors, played against Sao Paulo. The Mexican under 17 national team was there. Napoli from Italy were there. It was an international tournament. It was in Teresópolis, which is close to Rio de Janeiro, where the Brazilian national team training center is, which was the most amazing field also. Like, honestly, that was, if I'd say out of all my soccer experiences, that was probably the best by far.
Must have been a crazy
So we played in
environment
that.
to be in.
Yeah, it was cool. There were so many spectators. I mean, people loved it. They came in, they watched, and they loved it. Like, the crowd, sometimes, some games, there must have been like 10,000, 20,000 people.
That's insane.
So that was amazing. And then when I got back from that, I got asked to go to Morocco Swallows to join the under 17, under 19, and then hopefully maybe push into the pros.
Yeah.
I did that for a couple months with school, and then I had to make a decision on my life basically and on my careers that I was going to take, because at the time rugby started to become a bit more serious.
Yeah.
And then when I was 17, I made the call to quit soccer, stop soccer, and just carry on with rugby.
He's just one of those guys that's good at everything, I guess.
Well, a lot of time.
Do you think that you've been in that professional environment like so young, so you go and play in front of 20,000 people? Do you think that helped you in your rugby?
I do think just football in general helped with my rugby.
Oh, yeah.
I think football in general is I find it a lot more relaxed and chilled compared to rugby. Rugby's a very, like, especially rugby players, they're very aggressive and they're very stressed all the time.
Yeah.
And football, you almost need to be, when you get the ball at your feet, you have to be a bit calm, because if you're too nervous on the ball, you'll lose it. So it's just that mindset, I think, coming from football into rugby.
Yeah.
I think did help me a little bit, because I'm that type of player. I mean, if I don't have time on the ball, then I got a bit of a problem. And just being a bit more relaxed on the ball gives you a little bit more time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that Cape Town's home now, and you love the place Cape Town. But as a youngster at UCT and at Province, living in like the southern suburbs of Cape Town, somewhat living the dream, I assume. What is some of your fondest memories of Province and UCT? If you can just chat us to some of the fond memories you had as a youngster here.
Yeah, well, UCT was amazing. It was an experience like I've nothing experienced. I honestly, I remember it like it was yesterday. I mean, you know, when you really have those memories that like stand out in your life.
Yeah.
And then well, UCT was unbelievable. It's just that the experiences I got to experience were like nothing other than, like, you only get to experience that type of thing at UCT.
Yeah.
I mean, going from a fines evening on a Friday to like at a massive fitness session on Saturday morning, it could have been good for the body, but we just did it anyways.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I could never.
You gain.
I could never.
The relationships. And in the relationships you get to gain like just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that was special. It was such an amazing experience. Very different though. But what was amazing about it, I found, was that our preseason was just as hard as any professional preseason, and the quality of rugby was honestly just as good as a professional setup. And it was nice to experience that you could have so much fun and be professional at the same time.
Yeah.
So that was unique. That was really unique about UCT. And then going into Western Province it was, once I played for Western Province, I was like, okay, well, now I did it. Like, is there anything else really to do? Should I carry on playing rugby or do I stop now?
How did that come about? Yeah. How did you go from UCT to, were you like always contracted, or was it like, damn, Demetri had a killer season and it was 2011, right, when you guys won?
2011. I wasn't contracted. There were some guys that were contracted in that UCT team. I wasn't one of them. So I just went straight out of Varsity Cup. John Dobson was the coach of the Vodacom Cup team at the time. Yeah. And I think it was maybe like 2-3 weeks later, they had a semi-final for the Vodacom Cup. And Dobbo, being the biased UCT fan he slotted me straight into the starting lineup in the Vodacom Cup. That was my first Western Province game. I didn't even know what the hell was going on.
Oh, how did you even feel on that call? Because you're still at UCT, like you're playing a bit of rugby, like Varsity Cup, And now
Yeah, exactly.
you play the Province. It's like, how do you call your
Yeah.
parents? Like, well, actually, I'm playing for Province this weekend. So it's like,
Yeah, and honestly, it was ridiculous because it was just like 1 second you're playing for your varsity,
mm.
and then all of a sudden you're like, well, you're going to become a full-time pro now, and this is going to be your life. And I was like, okay, let me give it a go.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was always my dream, obviously, to play for Western Province.
Yeah.
I mean, I put in with so many hours, like training and making sure that I moved to the right varsity to play rugby.
Yeah.
And then eventually, once I got that call up and once I played Currie Cup just after that, I thought to myself, like, I've worked so hard to get to this point. And I sat down, I was like, now what am I supposed to carry on now or do I stop? I didn't understand what to do after that. And then you just need to make like a new goal.
Yeah.
You just need to be like, okay, well, now that I'm here, maybe I should try get another year contract or something like that. Like I didn't understand, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But it was cool. No, it was an amazing experience. And I was like, when I got it, I was so grateful that I did have it.
Yeah.
And then it was a crazy, like 5-6 years I spent at Province. It was really cool.
Yeah. Well, actually, my mates and I were chatting like that. I promise you that they were jealous that I'm chatting to you. They were, but so we were chatting, obviously, pre-lockdown or whatever, over a couple coolies. But we're saying like probably the biggest disservice to South African rugby is that Demetri didn't get 100 caps. Like, you were just so incredible for Province. Like, for you not to get a Springbok cap or at least one Springbok cap, we were all like, it's ridiculous. Like, they obviously didn't know what they were talking about.
Thanks. That actually, you know what? I must be honest. Like, when people say that, it means a lot because I obviously didn't get picked. So
yeah,
I mean, like, if I'm gonna sit in a room by myself and think about it, just me and I didn't get picked, and those are the facts. So you would think, okay, maybe like I played well for Province, but maybe they saw something in me that, that wouldn't really work at international level or something. But like when I hear other people say, you know what, you should have maybe played international rugby, it means a lot because I mean, I can't really judge myself so much. So that means a lot. And it is maybe, I wouldn't say it's a regret of mine, like things happen and I don't have any regrets in life, but it would have been cool. I got to play with so many Springbok players anyways, and I got to play with so many Fijian and Australian and French international and English international players. So, I mean, as a rugby experience, I don't think I missed out on much, but like as a player, I mean, like as a life experience to like represent your country, that would have been just ridiculous,
But do you think that maybe it was just like, because at the time, maybe the coaches wanted one fly off? I'm like, obviously not going to go into too much detail, but they wanted like someone who was like, they wouldn't go out of the game plan and like wasn't like as flary as you maybe. Do you think that was the case? Like they wanted, okay, he needs to kick for poles, he needs to like throw up and unders. Do you think that was the case? Like it didn't, like some coaches didn't think you'd fit, or I don't know.
You know what? I went to quite a few Springbok camps. Yeah. And I wasn't probably in the mold of
that's what I was trying
like, 100%. I wasn't probably in the mold of a traditional Springbok fluff in a way. I guess I was a bit more like kind of like, I don't know, kick a cross kick on my own 22 type of thing, or like, but that's maybe how they saw me play it. Like maybe how they saw me play at Western Province. Obviously I was playing to a game plan there, but I just think in general, I was a bit late on the scene compared to the other flowers at my time. So guys like Alton, who's also a great player, Pat Lambie. I mean, these are the guys that got called up from a young age. And when they were getting called up, I was the same age as them, but I was like fighting my way through False Bay and then fighting my way through UCT. And then by the time I broke onto the scene, like I think Alton had like 30 Super Rugby caps and maybe even a Springbok cap. Pat already played for the Springboks. So then once we were going to Springbok camps together around 2013, 2014, 2015, I think it was always going to be difficult for the coach to pick me, who had 0 caps, or to pick Alton, who had 10, and Pat, who had 20. And Pat, I think, actually already went to a World Cup type of thing. So it was, I don't know if it was so much on form and maybe more so what was safe.
Well, yeah. I think, yeah, anyway, what was safe, I don't know. Okay, I say no more. But yeah, so we're going to get to my favorite part of the chat, which is always a game of who is and why. So who is the kit man's nightmare?
I must be honest. I'd probably say it's me. I'm always asking for balls, and I'm always asking for balls. I often forget my tea at home, and like I always lose the balls, and I'm like, I think in my rugby career, it's not enough. I've probably stolen about 40 balls in my rugby career. So the kit man.
It's only natural. It's only natural. Like when there's 100 balls in front of you, you're gonna take one. Like.
Yeah, exactly. I need them. I mean, I need them, and I lose them. I kick them over the wall.
Yeah.
But I must be honest. Like thinking about it, the kit men of the clubs I've been to usually just hate me. Yeah.
And then who is always late?
Socially, I'd want to put two. Scudder and Tibeni and Siakwilisi are like impossible to organize like a dinner with on time. When I organize with them, if they say 7, I'll just rock up at 8 because I know they'll rock up at 8:30.
I think everyone has those mates. Like it's like cool.
Yeah, exactly.
5:30. We're gonna tell him 5:30. We're gonna get there like 8 p.m.
Yeah, they're okay with like rugby stuff. Like they'll come to meetings on time and stuff because maybe they just don't want to get fined, and like it's a completely different story. But a social event, no, you cannot rely on the guys to be on time.
And then who is selfie obsessed?
There are so many at the moment. I mean,
a lot of influencers, huh?
There's too many. Honestly, Danny K is probably one.
Okay.
Loves a selfie. Just I don't know if you know Francis Saidi. He played for the All Blacks. I played him at Harlequins. Also loves a selfie. But the young guys these days, I mean, like probably anyone below the age of 23. Yeah. I mean, they walk you around with their cell phones in the gym, taking selfies just before training, like taking their phones actually to the field and leaving it in their shoes so they can take a selfie just before training.
Would they like would the older guys take the piss out of them, or is it just like is what it is?
Well, no, the thing is that the older guys aren't used to it, so they do take the piss out of them. But like it eventually gets to the point where you sometimes don't even sit with the younger guys because they sit there with their phones and they're just on their phones taking selfies, sending it to the girls. Yeah, exactly. Whatever they need to do these days,
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then who is the best 9 you've ever played with? That I like. Maybe not one because I don't want you to feel like you're leaving anyone out. But yeah.
No, I'll give a best because I think it's only fair to pick one since you said best.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say Nick Groom is the best 9 I've played with, the one I enjoyed playing with most.
You guys look like you had like mad chemistry.
And that's the honest truth, and that's why I think he is the best 9. I think he understood me best, and I think our skill sets complemented each other really well.
Yeah.
And we had the same idea of rugby, and we knew what we wanted in the games, and I think that's why I enjoyed playing with him most, and that's why I'd say he's the best 9 I've played with. I mean, it's not saying that, I think he's better than Nick White, or I think he's better than Benoit Payog in Montpellier or Danny K. I just think where I felt most comfortable was playing with Nick Groom, and I think he's the best 9 for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then who is the man with the voice? So like karaoke night.
I played with a guy at Harlequins. His name's Paul Laziki. He plays number 12 for America, the USA.
Okay.
And honestly, I don't understand how that guy's not a professional singer.
Really?
But an unbelievable voice. Like when he starts singing, the room goes quiet and everyone's just like obsessed. Yeah?
It's like someone's cutting onions. Like
honestly, someone's cutting onions in the room. Guys are tearing. But not only has he got a great voice, he also plays the guitar.
No, that's unfair. It's unfair.
It's unfair. But he's got a wife, he's got kids, so he's almost like the bait for the younger guys. Yeah.
Any guys who don't have good voices but are always first to sing?
I can't think of anyone. I can't think of anyone. The honest truth is that like 99% of the guys don't have good voices. So anyone who tries to sing, just that Paul Ziki just sticks out in my mind because his voice is unbelievable. If you're listening to this, you can go on Instagram and just follow his page, and he's got quite a few videos now, especially in lockdown, singing. Unbelievable, honestly. Yeah.
Actually, I need to check him out. Then who is the comedian?
There's so many. Damien Dialendi is probably
really
the biggest joker. Really good friend of mine though. But I say Damien Dialendi is Yaku Tauta.
Okay.
If you remember Yaku Tauta, huge joker. His nickname is Bozo the Clown. So everyone calls him Bozo because he's a massive joker. But honestly, it's probably Damien and Yaku, and them playing a 12-13 was unplayable.
Yeah, you 9, Nick 9, you 10, those two centers. No, I don't want to. There's too much chat there. I don't want to I wouldn't want to be.
I don't know why Yaku Tauta did not play for UCT. He would have been a UCT legend.
And then who's the gym freak?
Oh, there's so many. Yaku Tauta is a gym freak.
I seem to remember he had ridiculously big calves. Or am I making?
Yeah, I think those were natural, but his calves are probably the same size as my quads. They were and I played with Yaku when he was 17. I was 19 at the Lions, and he came out of school, and I think he's just a naturally big guy because he came into the team and he was playing fullback and he was 17 years old and he was the biggest backline player. So I think he was just naturally really strong. But if I had to say gym freak, will probably be Chris Cruz. He plays for Munster at the moment. He was at Western Province for a while.
That oaks triceps.
He's a gym freak. He's a gym freak.
Well, I know. That name specifically sticks out to me. My brother and I were watching. I think he was playing for the Kings at the time.
Yes.
And he's on the side of the scrum, and he's at this horseshoe. We were like, no, actually, that's unfair. It's unfair.
Yeah, gym freak. I mean, he's strong at everything. There's not one exercise he's not strong in.
One of those guys,
Yeah.
Much like myself before my toe injury. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, I can see
that. So you've made a transition to a few clubs. What do you think? How have you managed to do it successfully? And how do you manage to settle into these new environments?
Successfully, I don't know if they were all successful, but I was always one for experiences in my career. So I almost embraced the fact that I was changing clubs or changing countries.
Yes.
I mean, it was always something I wanted to do from a young age.
Yeah.
Once I started playing professional rugby, I was always like, what an amazing tool and it's the opportunity to experience the world, gain friends. Whenever I moved clubs, it's always a little bit awkward in the beginning because you move in there and then everyone's looking at you and trying to assess what type of guy this guy is. And sometimes they've heard about you from your old club and they're not quite sure. But for me, the easiest thing to do was always to find guys who are similar to you. In France, it was very easy because I would just go to the English guys. And there was a lot of South Africans at the time.
Yeah.
So the easy way there was just getting involved with them and then slowly moving into the French group. But it's like anything in life. I mean, if you want to be social and you want to, have a lot of friends, you just need to be a nice person at the end of the day. So it's very simple. So moving around and going to different countries and different clubs and just being open-minded and nice to people and adapting to the different lifestyles and the different cultures. It was always a good secret. I mean, when I moved to France, it wasn't about trying to impose my way on them. It was more about adapting and experiencing their culture more, trying to learn their language, trying to adapt to the French way of playing rugby instead of trying to push, Super Rugby Stormers, trying to push that onto them, which was one of the really, really good things I did eventually because there were a lot of players that moved to France and didn't want to adapt, and just wanted to do things the way they wanted to do it. And to be open-minded is probably the biggest secret, and just humble and just a nice person in general.
Yeah. I was watching an interview with Jamie Roberts, and the interviewer asked him why so obviously came to the Stormers. He was like, why did you turn down a more lucrative contract like elsewhere and come to the Stormers? And then he was actually like, well, what is lucrative? Like, I'm coming here for the experience. Like, you live in Cape Town, it's like, so it's
Yeah.
like, I think it's different for everyone, which is cool because essentially rugby does give you that tool. Because if you can apply your trade in like various places, like you travel in the world and you're earning money. You hit the jackpot there, I reckon.
100%. There's nothing better. I mean, there's not many jobs where you can travel the world like you do with rugby. And it's not only the fact that you can sign a contract in the south of France. It's about
Yeah,
being in the
yeah,
south of France and playing different teams. So then you get to travel around France playing teams in Paris or Bordeaux
yeah,
or Toulouse, in Bayonne, and you go spend the weekend in all those cities. And then you eventually play European Cup and you go to
yeah,
Cardiff, you're moving into London. So it's like you're playing rugby, you're earning money. It's a nice, and you're traveling the world, you're meeting all these new people.
yeah.
I mean, it's been amazing, and I'm so happy. I'm so grateful I got to experience all
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. And then, sorry, off topic, but what do you think? So
Yeah,
you're at the Kings now. What do you like? Have you looked into some things like post rugby? Like, what have you looked into getting? If you have.
I definitely have. I mean, I've always, I've been studying insurance for the last few years, short-term insurance, because it's my
Okay.
family's business.
Okay.
And I've really, really missed my family over the last 10 years. So like post rugby to get involved with them would be nice. Just
Yeah.
for the fact, actually, just for the fact that I'd be like with them all the time and communicating with them. I
How
would
awesome
probably
is
be
that?
living in Cape Town. Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, I would probably be living in Cape Town and they would be in Joburg.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it's just like I've been overseas for a while now.
Mm.
Rugby keeps you really busy, and I'm very, very close to my family. So it'd be nice to reconnect with them and work at the same time, and grow like our lives as a family, which would be cool. But I would love to stay in touch with rugby, stay involved with rugby, and give back as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
And then, so you mentioned you've been apart from family. What are some of the biggest challenges you face, like adapting and settling into places abroad?
So I'd say moving to France, at first, I moved with, she was my girlfriend at the time, and we ended up getting married. But at the time, I moved with my
Congrats.
girlfriend, which was,
Congrats.
thank you, thank you, which was a massive positive. I mean, it would have been very difficult, I think, for me to learn. But the first year was okay. It was almost like the honeymoon period, being away from South Africa. I went into European winter, but then went into the summer.
Yeah.
And I didn't come back home for like 2 years. I was just enjoying Europe so much, but then it suddenly hit me after that. And then I was like, wow, I'm actually missing my close friends.
Yeah.
I'm missing my family. And then I moved to London, and then that just kept on going. And the more time I spent away, the more I missed everyone.
Yeah.
It was very, very difficult. But we're so lucky that FaceTime and Skype and all these networks, social networks, make it so easy to like connect and stay in touch with your family and friends.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot. But I was very, very grateful at the end of the day, and I'm very happy to be back in South Africa and now close to the people I love.
Yeah. And then so I read up that you actually had like a very, like for Harlequins, I think it was 2017, you had a very serious injury. What throat injury, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What can you remember from the experience? Like that whole, I don't know, it must have been a whirlwind. That experience, and then how does that rank as like on like your career in stress wise? How would that rank?
Yeah, so definitely the most stressful thing I've experienced. Not in my career, in my life.
I read an article, and I was like, that just sounds like so crazy and like scary.
Yeah.
Almost like anyway, I get like goosebumps thinking about it.
Thank goodness I've spoken about it a lot of times, and it's like it doesn't affect me as much anymore. But the first few times after I had the injury and I spoke about it, was like, it was serious. Like it was something I'll never forget. Sorry, I just want to move here quickly.
Okay.
It was something I'll never I'll never forget. I mean, I remember every single part of it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I got knocked out and then I woke up in hospital and then I experienced it. It was a knock to the throat. I went down and I just thought I thought my voice would come back and my breathing would come back because that's what I was struggling with in the beginning.
Damn.
And the doctors ran on and I was like, I tried to talk and I couldn't talk. And I was like, this is a bit strange. I wasn't too panicked in the beginning because I've been knocked in the throat before. But then it just started getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And the throat started closing more and more and more. And then eventually, like, I'd say after 10 minutes, I realized I was in big trouble. And I think the doctors and the physios also realized.
Panic stations.
And they just, like, everyone was in panic stations. I could tell the doctors were panicking. I was panicking. And the more I panicked, the more I couldn't breathe. And then, they just rushed me to hospital. It took a good 30 minutes to get to hospital because we were in like London traffic at the time. So it took a good 30 minutes where I wasn't too sure. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I wasn't too sure if I was going to make it or not. I actually thought I was done for a period. And then eventually got to hospital. Yeah, like really, really scary. And I eventually got there to hospital. Once I got to hospital, I felt a little bit like more at ease because I knew that if they had to operate or anything, they could do it. And it wasn't like I was in an ambulance bouncing around over pavement. But eventually, once I got there, I was a bit like more at ease. And then I spent a good 7 days in hospital. The first 2 or 3 was under like very high care with someone watching me all the time because it was obviously a dangerous place to get injured and anything could have happened.
Yeah.
I couldn't really speak properly for a good few months. I couldn't eat for like a month. I was just having smoothies and soup, like just swallowing. And then, I mean, it was, for me personally in the beginning, like right after that, it was a career ender. The doctor said to me I'd never be able to play again because I wouldn't be able to breathe properly again. And mentally for me it was done. I mean, I was so scared in the time. I was like, I cannot step foot on the field again. But I mean, as time went by, I think I became a bit less like sensitive and emotional about the situation. And I got back to training after a few months. And then I decided, you know what, let me give it another go. And I think possibly getting back to playing was, I think, my biggest achievement in my rugby career.
That's literally my next question. It's like, how much mental strength did it take for you actually just to like step on the field again? Because you almost so like much. It was done. Like you were told it's done. You're not gonna. How much mental strength did it take to pass?
So like maybe probably 100,000 times more mental strength than it was to kick like a final kick. You know,
can't even compare.
Or to play like a final of the Currie Cup or whatever the story was. It was so much, like it took a lot of time. It took a lot of talking.
Yeah.
I saw psychologists. I mean, it was just, I spoke to a lot of people. I was very in doubt of what I wanted to do. And eventually when I made the decision and I got out there, I was honestly, if I've ever been proud of myself, I was proud of myself.
There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool. I mean, it was, like I said, it was probably my greatest achievement in my rugby career.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no average human could have done that, I don't think. So yeah, I can speak volumes.
You know what the thing is? Like if I look back at the situation, I would think I wouldn't be able to do. If someone told me before this happened, listen, you're gonna break your throat, you're gonna go through all of that, I said, then I'm never gonna play rugby again. But like you never know. You never know when you're in a situation. You never know how you're gonna react.
Yeah.
And so like I went through it, and I mean everyone's got it inside of them. So like hopefully people can just bring that out sometimes.
Yeah. Man, I wish. I'm conscious of your time. Like this has been so much fun for me. So thank you so much. That's the end. I wish I could have had a Q&A, but I just
I didn't get it to my story in time.